We lost a great leader in General George Muellner. General Muellner was the chairman of the Air Force Association. He was also a much decorated pilot and an acquisition pro. General Spencer will have some more to say about George.
As mentioned by Secretary Peters, it is with profound regret and a deep sense of loss. And let me add that very much a personal loss for me, that we recognize the passing of Lieutenant General George Muellner, a true giant in our Air Force and with our Air Force Association. General Muellner's Air Force career is legendary. He did it all. He was a fighter pilot, test pilot, and weapons instructor. He flew 690 combat missions in Vietnam and another 50 in Desert Storm as a JSTARS deployment commander. He served at the command and headquarters level in a variety of assignments, some of which were highly classified. He culminated his distinguished Air Force career as the principal deputy in the office of the Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Acquisition, where he was responsible for the management of all Air Force acquisition programs. After retiring from the Air Force, he went on to be the Senior Vice President of Air Force Systems at Boeing, where he was also president of Boeing's Phantom Works. General Muellner also was passionate about his work in the Air Force Association, serving on a broad array of committees as the association's vice chairman of the board for aerospace education. Most recently, he served as AFA's chairman of the board. His selfless service to our Air Force and to our association will be sorely missed.
There was Colonel Ruth Lucas, our first African-American female promoted to colonel in our Air Force. There was three great warriors, Ralph Parr. Colonel Ralph Parr had just died. Lieutenant General Boots Blase had just died. And then, of course, Colonel Bud Day had also just died. And right after I put up slides with each of their pictures, I put this picture up because the chairman was at the podium that day, just as Chairman Peters has been today. And I reminded everybody that all the heroes aren't gone. And talked about the things he'd done for his Air Force, as you heard this morning. And now the chairman's gone. Rest in peace. Thanks for your example, sir. He was an amazing guy.
Well, it's clearly resources, and it turns out it's not just money, it's people also. But I think the biggest challenge across the services in DoD is how do you sustain a force that's fighting in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and at the same time you need to modernize that force. You know, in the case of the Air Force, you got a service that I flew in Desert Storm. We had 134 fighter squadrons. Today we have 55. We had 90+% readiness in '91. We have closer to 60% now. And it's because of money and the volatility of the budget, you know, continuing resolutions and what have you. But it's also because it's very expensive to modernize these airplanes. The average age is 27 years old. They all have these proprietary architectures that a Boeing and a Lockheed or whoever instantiated. Some of them use software that hasn't been taught in 20 years. So the cost of modernizing them is very high. So you combine all those things and it's a terribly quandary for all the services.